Hey everybody. I'm really almost caught up now. We are on I'm on the YouTube Pagan Challenge week 6, which is cultural influences. I think everybody else is on like week 7. So I'm really close. I'm so close. So close. Um so yeah, cultural influences, that's an interesting topic. Uh Slightly difficult answer. I should really prepare notes before I make a video just because I think that I'd be more solid on what I'm going to say and not be so babbly and crazy, but oh well, we're just going to have to make it work because I'm too lazy to make notes right now. So, as far as cultural influences go, um, hmm, definitely a lot of my own heritage has a big influence on me, so I'll talk about that. As far as outside of my own heritage, well, my family, we are French, Irish, and German. Probably a little English in there, but it's not really something we know for sure, or like, I mean, some of my family probably does know for sure, but I don't know exactly where it would come from. But very French, very Irish, a little bit of German in there. My grandpa was half German, so that's all I got in me. But it's something. Um, yeah, and then oh, okay. Hi, you're distracting me from a video. Hi, kitty. Oh, he likes to play with the tassels. This is gonna be so distracting. Oh well, too bad. Who doesn't love cat videos, right? I mean, cats are great on the internet. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, um, so while those things definitely influence me, I'm sure anyone who knows me at all will tell you that the biggest cultural influence on me in like all aspects of life is Japanese. Yes, I'm one of those people. I I don't know. I mean, that's a touchy subject as far as like people talking about like the dreaded word weeaboo and that kind of crap. I I don't even want to get into that because it's stupid, it's too much. I just don't even we won't talk about that part. But I will talk about, yeah, Japanese culture has been very influential in my life. Um, I don't claim to be some kind of expert or anything like that. I'm really terrible when it comes to Japanese history. So I'm kind of bad when it comes to most history. So there's that. But I know my stuff. I've never been there, sadly, but I'd love to go. And I, a lot of things about Buddhism in Japan and Shintoism are really big interests for me. I don't I have a great appreciation for Buddhism and Hinduism, but I don't obviously follow either of those religions, but I find them extremely interesting and I love reading about them and I love reading about like the differences in Buddhism in Japan versus like China or other parts of the world, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of little things like Japanese people's view of religion is not anything like America where I live. It's it's very like it's low key, like everybody will there are obviously people that are very devout and there are people that are Christian there and they're, of course. Of course there are. And there's people from, there's foreigners that live there that are probably many other religions, but as far as how the average Japanese person views religion, it's very low key. You go to the temples or shrine depending on if you're Buddhist or Shinto, and you pray there on holidays. You maybe pray for you know good luck and good fortune for the new year, or when you're doing finals, and when you're you know on like holidays and stuff like that, and there's fertility holidays and things like that. But it's not like how Christianity is here, where it's this overwhelming, like, I'm sure many Americans understand totally what I'm saying. It's if there's not like an overwhelming pressure to be religious or anything like that. It's not. It's kind of like subtly part of your life, and that's it. There's no one would ever try to convert you in Japan unless they're like um Christian. Unless it's just true. I mean, unless they're like, Latter-day Saints or something, they don't try and convert you to Buddhism. Nobody tries to convert you to Shintoism. Like, that just doesn't happen. It's not like that. I mean, maybe they pass on information, but nobody's like coming to no Buddhist priest is gonna come to your door and be like, "Have you heard about the Buddha?" Like, that's not really a thing. Um, Unlike here, where I get people ringing the door in nice clothing. If I see someone around here dressed nicely, I know it's either a politician or someone trying to talk to me about Jesus. And it's just the truth. No one else even not even nice clothes, just anyone ringing my doorbell. That's probably who it is. Unless it's like the UPS man. Nobody rings doorbells. Nobody comes to people's door. You just text. I'm getting really off topic though. That is totally unrelated. Anyway, but definitely Japanese culture has been an influence on my life. Especially, there's a large chunk of my life where that was like the only culture I cared about. I was kind of obsessed for, during that like preteen, early teen life. I think everybody goes through like an obsessive phase, and that was my obsessive phase, right? But I still care, and I still like read about Japan and study as much as I can to, I guess, I just love learning, and so I read stuff. I don't know, and that's a topic I already like, so I like to learn more about it. Aside from that, my own family, my own heritage has definitely had probably the biggest impact on me, at least spiritually, I'd say. Um, I, I don't, I'd have to say I resonate most and like and associate most with my Irish heritage. Um, my I think three of my four grandparents had Irish blood, so I'm pretty Irish. I've got a lot of Irish in me. Um, my grandma would make Irish food and stuff like that, and all of my family members kind of love Ireland on some level, and wish they could go there or wish they could live there or have been there or have married people from there or, things like that. Like, it's a big deal in my family. We love Irish things. Um, so obviously that was like ingrained in me since I was born, since I could understand language. So, um, learning about like ancient Celts and ancient Irish people, because there's debate about whether, I mean, it's not something, I'm not, like I said, I'm not really good on history. I'm not a historian in any way. My fiance is like really into that kind of stuff, and he has, between the two of us, we have so many books. He has so many books on history. He's a really big historian, history buff, like ancient, modern. Oh my goodness, he knows a lot, and it's nice because he can be like a reference. But a little bit I know there is some debate about whether Irish people are really Celts or who the Celts really were, and I mean, I don't care. I like learning about the ancient Celts, whether they were really my ancestors or not. Whatever. I think they're so interesting, probably because we don't know a lot about them, and we don't know as much as I wish we did, and so that really intrigues me. And you know, So yeah, since it was been great to me since I was a baby, learning about like Irish spiritual beliefs and things like ancient Celt- Celtic beliefs is obviously something I've done, even just from reading like fairy tales and stuff like that, and like reading about fairies, and that has been something I've done for before since before I even cared about what religion was. Um, I would never. I mean, I think it'd be so interesting and so cool to be a Reconstructionist. Honestly, I really do. But I feel I'm not dedicated enough to ever, to at this moment in my life, to call myself that or to put that much time and effort into learning the history and learning Irish language. And I'm just not at that point in my life where I can dedicate myself to that. I like the idea of it though, and I wouldn't mind. I really would consider doing it in the future, but it's just not. This time my life is full of chaos and other things, so I don't have. I just can't right now. So yeah, so I have obviously some German heritage, and my fiance really, he has like a little bit of German heritage too, and but he really resonates with it, and he he loves learning as much as he can about Germany, and he knows a lot about German history, and um I mean, I would even say generally European history. He knows way, way more than I do. Just off the top of his head, like even without referencing a book, he could tell me a lot. But so he even he studied German in college. He's not. Whoa! Hey, oh, hey! I dropped the phone because I was getting all excited, and I don't have an editing software, so you could just see all that. You're welcome. Anyway, so he's not anywhere near fluent. I mean, I wouldn't even call him conversationally fluent. I don't. He could maybe speak like a kindergartner, but I still find that really impressive that he loves that much about that culture so much that he learned some of the language and he wants to study more. He wants to be fluent and he studies on his own outside of, he's not in school anymore. He studies it on his own and stuff like that. And so him coming into my life really brought this idea of German heritage to me, and of he also has a great interest in Norway and Norwegian culture, and so the ancient Norse culture came into my life too. I probably have studied more about Norse culture by now than I have even Irish and Celtic, because he just has been that big of an influence on me, and he has so many books about it. So I would say that definitely, that has very, in the last, 4 or 5 years that we've been together, has definitely become an influence on how I think and what I believe. And yeah, I mean, I really think so. Um, and the other thing we share is like a great interest in Egyptian history. And I think a lot of people in America have that from studying in school. Um, but he had that interest, and I have that interest, and he has a really deep interest in Egypt. He resonates really strongly with Egyptian culture. He wears a necklace that has an Eye of Horus, and he also has a pendant with Isis on it, and so the two of us have studied quite a bit into Egyptian culture. Also, um, that's probably the other. I mean, if I could study more Kemet, I would too. My phone's telling me I don't have much time left, so I'm